Dogs, well, I really love boats. I think they have like different energy, but I think if I have to choose one, I will choose a cat. And it's there, my cat, right now. The same thing. I think I really love boats, but right now, in this moment, with the energy I have, I think I feel more connected with mountains. And my next project is going to be about volcanoes and our relation with the volcanoes, with the mountain fires. For sure, walking. This is my first year that I have a car and that I drive, so I think it's incredible, but I really, really prefer walking and biking. Well, it's very sad because in Guatemala, we don't have a lot of museums, and museums are completely abandoned. They don't have money, they are very little. So I really don't have like a favorite museum in Guatemala, but Mexico, that is the country that we have next from Guatemala, have incredible museums, and I think they have the anthropology. The Museum of Anthropology is incredible, so maybe it can be my favorite. Even I think that museum, they have to change also the way how do we think a museum. Met David Barahona, the brothers of Elias. In fact, the first time I made a short film and I filmed David Barahona, Elias' brother, and he always talked me about Elias, and he was telling me, and he gave me like a book of Elias that he wrote. So when I met Elias in 2011, Elias already knew about me. So I think that from the beginning we felt like this respect and confidence between us. And I really decided, I asked him if I could like film some interviews or conversation and everything without knowing that I was going to make a documentary. But then Elias, like, he felt he was ill, and we decided like to stop. And one day he called me and he asked me if I could film him giving his testimony in the burning of the trial of the burning of the Spanish embassy in Guatemala. So I arrived and I filmed him, and then I went to his home and I filmed our last conversation together. And 2 weeks later, Elias died. So I really decided to start to make this documentary when Elias died. But I think that he also felt in confidence with me, because I was from another generation and I wasn't judging him. I could be his daughter or granddaughter, and I think that for him that was very important, because he felt that I was really wanted like to hear his history. Well, from the beginning I really knew that I wanted to use archives, and it was very complicated because in Guatemala we don't have like TV newspaper archives. Well, as we watch in the film, the conditions of the film library is not good, and it's very complicated like to find some images from the war during the 70s and 80s, because there were a lot of images that they were burned, that were hid, or they were completely lost, no? So, but I wanted also to use it because I was born in 1984, and there are so many things that I don't know how they look, how do militaries and other persons and strikes look in this moment. And I think also my generation and the newest generation don't know. So for me it was also very important to find, even though it was 1, 2 or 3 images, but to find them and to show it. It was like I feel like engaged also to do it. And also for me it was important. This process of research was so big and was so difficult that for me it was important to talk about that, because we are talking about present. When we show a country that don't have images of the past, or it's complicated to talk, or it's complicated to find those images, we are not only talking about the past, we are talking about our present and how is our relation with this past. So for me, it was also very important, like to put that and to feel it in the film. Well, in this film, it was at the beginning a little complicated because I talked with a lot of persons, and a lot of persons, they didn't want it to be filmed, or they prefer not to talk about some subjects, or not to talk about their political engagement because it's not politically correct, or because they were fear, or also because it's very painful. So for me, it was important, like I had like a, before film the persons, like a relation, to talk a lot with them, to hear them, to feel that this respect, and to not feel judged. And for me, it was also important, like to use an object or something that we can touch, like an image or something that we can feel, that we can watch, like to use it as a connection with the past, because I think we make a lot of that sometimes. Something we smell, something we watch connect us with a remember, something that we remember from the past, and because memory is not linear and it's made with fragments. So for me, it was very important, and I think that was also like helpful, like for the persons to feel more comfortable, like when to talk. But also I think that when there is a person or two person or three person, they are talking about their history, their subjectivity there, and they feel it like really they need to talk it. When other people watch this, I think that connect them, and they want also to talk about their stories. I am telling that because we have been screening the film in Guatemala, and at the beginning we were very feared on why we didn't know what people were going to think about that. And all the time we screen the film, always there are persons who want to talk about their stories, and they want to talk like it's like a catharsis, like something that happens. And I think that yes, sometimes like that can be also a way to open like a dialogue or this conversation, and also to accept this subjectivity. It's very important. Yes, I've been working with a lot of human rights organizations, and as a filmmaker, and I think that more and more there are films that talk about human rights issues, because we are in a world that it's completely unequal and polarized and everything. But not only because we are talking about human rights or social or political issues, but I think that a film is not going to change something, like it's not going to change a fact, but a film opens, it's like a catalyst, or like it can be a catalyst, like to open dialogues, and to sometimes open dialogues that are very difficult to open and to talk, because it's too sensitive, it's too political, it's too polemic. And also a film can be screened and shown in so many places, in universities, in schools, in the street, in open air. And I think that a film brings this different point of view, this diversity and this subjectivity that is so important in this world that is so polarized and unequal. Yes.